cultural timeline accelerates beyond human pace. This is the deepest fracture. Streaming speeds up trends, genres, movements, aesthetics, careers, attention, and evolution. The world moves faster than people can emotionally process. The 80s lose their innocence. The 90s lose their cohesion. The 2000s loses its narrative. Culture becomes a blur and the cost is enormous. Let's look at the human cost. This is the part that matters the most. Streaming in 1985 creates more access, more choice, more discovery, more diversity. But it also creates more overwhelmment, more isolation, more fragmentation, more presence, more pressure, but more noise. Here's the kicker, too. It creates less meaning. The world becomes louder, but people feel quieter. The future arrives too early, and the generation that receives it isn't ready. That is the fracture. That is the wound. That is the cost of abundance, ladies and gentlemen. Without preparation, what do you have? All right, take a break with me. We've walked through the fractures, okay? We've watched the 80s glitch. We've watched the industry collapse. The culture mutate. The future arrive too early. We've stepped into a world where streaming detonates decades before anyone is ready. Now it's your turn to step inside the circle. Guys, because this show is a monologue. It's a ritual. It's a community. And guys, at the end of the day, it's a conversation between people who care about music enough to imagine entire universes where it evolves differently. So here's what I want from you. Not as a host, but as another human who knows what music means. I need you guys to share this episode with someone who's lived through the 80s, or someone who wishes they had. Someone who remembers tapes, vinyls, VHS, record stores, mixtapes, MTV, the mystery, the waiting, the magic, or someone who only knows the 80s through playlists and nostalgia. Guys, this episode hits differently when you've lived through both worlds. And finally, guys, if you want the full Ampyre Sessions experience, full-length video episodes, exclusive interviews, members-only discounts, live links, and much, much more, guys, join the Backstage Pass. It keeps the show independent, keeps it alive, keeps it loud. But whether you join or not, whether you're new here, or whether you've been with me since episode 1, I want to thank you for being a part of this. I want to thank you for imagining universes with me. I want to thank you for caring about music enough to ask the impossible questions. Thank you for stepping into this fracture. You've just walked through a universe that should never have existed. A world where the future arrived way too early. A world where the 80s, a decade built on mystery, scarcity, ritual, and physical connection, was suddenly flooded with infinite access. And now we're back in a timeline where streaming didn't exist in 1985, where the album era had a chance and a time to bloom, where local scenes had a time to grow, where genres had time to evolve, where discovery still felt like a quest, where music still carried weight because you had to work for it. And stepping out of that alternate universe, guys, it reminds us of something important. Timing matters. Technology isn't neutral. It shapes culture. It shapes identity. It shapes the emotional architecture of entire generations. Streaming changed everything, but it changed everything at a moment when the world was ready for it. Drop it in 1985 and the entire ecosystem collapses before it even matures. But here's the beautiful, beautiful reality. We live in the time frame where both worlds exist. We have the mystery of the past. We have the abundance of the present. We have the rituals of the old world and the access of the new one. We can hold vinyl in our hands and still stream a song in seconds. Guys, we live in both eras at once. And I want you guys to think of this. It is a gift. It is a gift.